All right, 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM listeners, you already know what time it is, and right here, right now, we are actually live with a Billboard charting artist. This individual is doing phenomenal things, and he is definitely on the rise. We got the one and only Micah right here, live on the line, man. How are you doing this evening?
I'm amazing, man. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. Best I can possibly be. Just dealing with Canadian weather and whatnot, but other than that, man, it's so far so good.
Man, I understand. I'm from Florida. My blood isn't made the same, man. I can't handle it.
Yeah, I hear you on that, man. I think if you were down here yesterday and witnessed the snowstorm we got, I think a lot of people would have ran for the airport, man. I know I would have.
Good luck with that, man. Good luck. Stay warm.
But I know you're a busy guy there, Micah, so I'm going to dive right into this broadcast. But I want to take you back to the beginning of your amazing career, and I have to ask, man, what actually made you decide to actually get into gospel music originally?
All right, so this is an interesting story because I played sports. That was my first love. I am 6'6", so I'm a tall man, and my love was always for basketball, and a special love I had for football. So that was my ultimate goal, that I was going to either make it in the NBA or make it in the NFL. That's what I wanted to do. And I had a grandmother, and she's gone home to be with the Lord, but she saw something special in me and pushed me out there. And I remember we were at her church. Well, I was going to her church, and it was like a family and friends sort of event. And so I'm thinking I was going to sit there and, participate just in the audience. And as soon as I walked in, they were like, well, there's Mother Lee's grandson, Micah, and he's next on the program. I was like, what? So it's literally hundreds of people in this congregation. And I remember I just got up there, and it tells you how long ago it was. It was a cassette tape I remember my parents had. And there was this crazy song on there I'll never forget called Life is a Ball Game. It was like a baseball theme song. I don't know what it was about. And I just started singing. And I want to tell you that the fairy tale story would be that I sounded amazing, but I sounded terrible. I bawled. It was bad. And I didn't have one of those grandmothers that were like, oh, baby, that is okay. That's all right. No. Later on, she was like, boy, don't you ever make me ashamed like that again. And so what it did, though, in that moment was catapult me to say, you know what, I never want to have any sort of embarrassing moments like that. Let me hone this craft. And she started to teach me at that time every gospel song, every hymnal in the book. So that's how I really got started. But what really catapulted me into the place that I am now was, you know how, this is the thing about life. Life is short, man, and, we always think we have time to do stuff. I was in a major car accident. I was coming home from school, and my SUV, it hydroplaned. And I remember I hit the median on the highway head on, and because it was raining, I slid down into a canal. And when I slid down into the canal, it began to fill up with water, the car. And I remember picking up my phone, and I called my mom, and I was like, Mom, I think this is it for me. I think I'm going to die in here. And she was like, Micah, just hold on. Just have faith. And I remember the phone went out because of the water. It got wet. And in some kind of way, the water rose all the way over my nose, and I could literally see it at the bottom of my eyelid. And there was a crack in the window, and I was able to kick through it and swim out. And as I watched the car sink, I'm an optimistic person. I'm thinking, well, maybe I'm okay. So I looked down, and not being too graphic, I saw the back of my heels. My legs were turned around. And I'm saying, well, maybe I am, my legs are just out of socket floating on top of the water. And so then I touched my side, and it sounded like an empty glass of ice being filled up with water. That's what it sounded like. So I knew something was wrong. I got to the hospital, and it was, the doctors rushed me into surgery saying they were going to amputate my legs. And when I woke up, I pulled the sheet back, and my legs were there, and they said, well, Mr. Lee, we were able to save your legs, but you'll never walk again. And that was the hardest time for me, being a ball player, being somebody, in school, you're the big man on campus, everybody likes it. I'm like, man, my life is over. It's done. And I remember, and I say this is my real experience with God, man. I remember my room filling up with a cloud of smoke, and him coming in and picking all six of me up like a newborn baby. I'm like, am I just delirious in here? And he was just rocking me back and forth. And I knew right then that he was actually just real. And from that moment on, I remember I was in a wheelchair, man, for like a year. I started to get better, but I couldn't walk. And I remember the very first time that I sang again, I literally heard God whisper in my ear like, "Today's the day." I stood up, my legs heated up, and I just took off running. And I've been like walking ever since. What that taught me is not only that God is real, but it also taught me that life is short. If you're going to do something, you need to get up and do it now. So I have this certain drive that has catapulted me and pushed me out front. Because I'm like, hey, I don't have time to wait. I need to get out here and do what I need to do. And now we're like 4 top 20s better, 4 top 20s later, one number one. And I'm just pushing, man. And that's kind of how we have to be. And I told that story because for anybody who's out here who has a desire to do something, it's always going to be some situations and bumps in the road. It'll always be something that seems like, you know, it has completely derailed your plans. But all you have to do is keep going and keep moving and don't quit. That's even why I wrote the song Don't Break, because, you know, that was my life testimony. There was even a meme that you've probably seen it. It was a guy digging a tunnel underground, and he kept digging and digging, and then he gave up discouraged. Then the picture expanded, and it showed if he hit one more time, he was going to be in a ring full of diamonds. And that thing, when I saw that, it hit me like a ton of bricks. It was like, what if all it takes for us to reach our goals, our dreams, is one more song, one more try, one more push? You know, it failed the first time, but let's try it one more time, and you're going to have everything that you desire and want, man. And so that's just my mentality. Just you have to push to make it. You know, I don't want to talk too much, man, but there was a statement. I don't know if you guys, there was an old saying that said, there are 99% of people are unsuccessful. 1% of people are successful. And the 1% of people who are successful are the people who are willing to do the things that the 99 did not do. So my question to anybody who desires to make it or whatever their dream is, what are you willing to do? How far are you willing to go? How hard are you willing to push? You know, and to be in that 1%. And for me, I just refuse to watch the Grammys, any other show, and say, hey, that could have been me. I'm going to get out here and do every single thing that I can to make it. And then God started to bless me, man. That's when we started to have success.
And I gotta say, man, first and foremost, I am so glad that you actually are still here with us, blessing the world with your amazing music, man. You know, I gotta say, miracles are definitely a phenomenal thing, and I don't want to get too deep into it, but I have to ask, when you actually got up and when you said you actually just started running, what did the doctors say when they actually saw you standing up out of the bed? Were they kind of like, what the heck is going on, or were they literally kind of like, you know what, I saw this coming?
Yeah, so absolutely. So they did not think I would ever walk again. They completely didn't think that I'd walk again. And it astonished the doctors. They were looking like literally scratching their head, like, how is this happening? And I literally had a conversation with God, and I was literally angry talking to him like I'm talking to you right now. And I was like, God, why did you allow me to go through all of that? And he told me this. He said, Micah, I could have healed you day one. I could have done it. But I did not do it that way because I wanted you to see that the doctors couldn't do it. It was nobody but me. And that right there is, for me, it just lets me know how real he is, man, because, you know, it showed me that miracles still do happen. And there are a lot of people who have a certain faith or they don't have a lack of faith because they don't see anything happening. But it still happens. We just have to you have to watch. These things still do occur, these kind of miracles. But for me, because I'm such an analytical person, I'm analyzing everything, I had to see it for myself, that it couldn't be anybody else, because it still astonishes the doctors how I'm able to walk and how I'm able to run, because they thought that I would never be able to do it again.
And also, as well, you actually released the highly praised mixtape titled Renditions Reloaded. I was wondering, man, what is the story behind this earlier release? And of course, is it still available to be streamed or purchased today? Because I gotta say, man, it sounds like such a phenomenal project.
That is so funny, man. I don't want to say that I forget about my older work. I did that maybe 2010, 2012, somewhere in that space, and I did a bunch of covers of because I do a lot of my voice is so eclectic. I've had success in gospel, but I've also am trained in jazz and soul music, and I love a lot of hip hop and urban music, and I'm a baby from the '90s and the early 2000s. Like that's my genre and my space of music, and it's probably still out there, that mixtape somewhere. I couldn't tell you because I haven't listened to it myself in a while. So now you're gonna make me go up and try to find and pull up those old works. I'm always moving and pressing. I did that project before like the gospel thing really took off, and that was like 2012. And then when I came out with my song Forever, featuring The Truth in like 2015, that completely changed the game for me. It completely changed my situation. So yeah, it's there somewhere.
And also as well, December 16th of 2014, you actually released the phenomenal the phenomenal holiday single titled "This Holiday." And I do know throughout the years, throughout the years you actually released other Christmas tracks. But I wanted to bring this one up because this one is one that I personally really enjoyed. I was wondering if you can actually tell us a bit more about this particular song. And of course, for next year, do you actually have any plans to release any other Christmas-infused songs?
So this is the thing, man. Like that first thing, let's talk about this holiday. This holiday was a really, when I tell you I love that record, I love it. It makes me smile. That song is kind of like a mixed holiday song that kind of crosses, they called it the new Christmas classic when it came out. And that record, and it's a phenomenal video. If you haven't seen it, the video is crazy dope. I was inspired by those old Navy commercials and Target commercials, and I wanted to just make something that would just make people smile. And then, with holiday music, it just seems like people ask me for it, and I end up coming up with new tracks, and a lot of times those songs have ended up on different commercials and stuff like that. So I do plan on releasing more holiday music. At some point, I'm probably going to just compile those songs and put a few new ones on there and put out like a Christmas record at some point. It's going to happen. It will eventually.
And I got to say as well, I think that would be absolutely phenomenal, man, because unfortunately a lot of people release tons of obviously regular projects, but a lot of genres we don't get a lot of Christmas music. Like we do, but we don't get as much as we do to just the regular substance.
Yeah, the Christmas music is the good thing about it is it never dies. It just comes back again, and those songs can have crazy long life, and they just keep going like every year. It's fresh again. So yeah, you even mentioning that just pushes me to create more music. My mindset is to always create like timeless music. I think I'm in a different space this year after I've gone through so many things. My mindset used to be, let me rush and I gotta get this music out here. I gotta get this out here. I gotta do that. And I'm still, like a hustler with that. But my mindset now has shifted, I recently had, another major surgery where, I was down for almost a year. And even trying to just recover from that so I can get back out there and push and hustle again. And the way that this body does, I guess I'm not the same teeny bopper. That body was like, nope, sit down. So my mindset has shifted now, like, you know what, when stuff is supposed to happen, let it work, let it happen. You do your work, you let it play out, and it's going to happen. I'm working on right now some new phenomenal music. I just, got a new record deal, and I am working on this project. I recorded the most phenomenal records thus far that are just mind-blowing. I recorded with a full live orchestra with an amazing singer, Kim Burrell, as well as with Kirk Franklin on this record thus far, and it is just crazy bananas listening to like the full orchestra record these records. So I'm working heavily, like, you know, coming up with some just amazing stuff. A lot of times with music, people get so pigeonholed into doing a certain thing, you know, that you don't get to be able to really truthfully create. But I realize that I'm made up of a lot of things. I am gospel, I'm R&B, I am soul music, I'm hip hop, I'm all of these things compiled into one, you know. So I'm like, why not explore all the different sides of what I'm able to do? And I'm just out here creating a great body of work, great body of work. Even I had this song called Heaven that was even hitting, you know, the dance chart. That song went all the way to number 3 at gospel radio, was number 1 in audience reach, and they picked it up at clubs, and they were literally playing this record. Like, I was looking at these videos and clips of them playing it in the different clubs and people dancing around to it, and the different DJs like creative mixes to this record. But I think that's just so beautiful, being able to get your message out there to all these different people. Even the creativity of the video for that record, I did interactive video or interactive video visual where literally it expanded into this whole creative picture. It's crazy. So it's amazing stuff, man, but I'm working.
And also as well, a few years ago, you actually had 3 consecutive songs atop the Billboard charts, landing all 3 of them in the top 20. I was wondering if you can actually tell us a bit more about that experience, and of course, how did it feel seeing those songs hit the charts back to back to back?
So it's crazy because you work for a long time. I think it's important. I would tell anybody who's doing this, it's important. Education is so important, right? It's so important to know, like, completely what you're doing. And, you know, for years, a lot of times you're just rolling around, kicking the bucket, hoping something happens or something sticks. But when you go to understanding the business and how to make this thing work, how to grind, how to hustle, how to make it happen, it just became like a thing. And so once you have that first record, it just becomes like a train of things happening. And I don't want you to even have the illusion like it just happens, right? Nah, that's what a lot of artists try to do, try to make it like it just happens. It involves a whole team of people. It involves a whole lot of money. It involves a whole lot of late nights, you know, grinding and pushing. So that's why I always say, when you want it, you got to get out there and make that thing happen. And, you know, I'm just grateful to God that he's shown me that kind of favor on my life, that every single one of these records that I've put out have all just hit the charts and climbed the charts like that so quickly. I even had, when my Christmas record, I didn't even add that into that. My Christmas record, my latest Christmas song, "'Tis the Season," its first week out, it landed at number 15, a Christmas record. And I was like, okay, you know, it's first week out the gate. But it's just all God, man, and God's favor. But I'm just, I'm grateful. I'm grateful because there are so many people who desire to do this. And, you know, God has chosen me or given me the ability. You know, and a lot of times, a lot of us don't think that we have what it takes or we're good enough to do a certain thing. And we don't really realize, like, the power that God has already placed in us to make and achieve anything. So I have this whole fearless mentality, man. So I'm ready for the next record to go to number 1 again. It's going to happen.
I gotta say, it definitely is, man. You got a phenomenal track record with Billboard, man. So I can definitely see it actually 4 songs back to back this time, man. I can definitely see it happening.
It's going to happen, man. It's going to happen for sure. Because I'm going all in. Like, this new work, it's all about growth, man. Like, that's why I said this new work, we got live orchestras, live horns, live strings. I mean, I'm in the studio, and I'm looking at, you know, a whole violin section. Like, it's a whole situation. So, hey, it's going to be great, man. I can't wait to share it with you.
And also, as well, aside from the music industry, I also read that you are an inspiring actor as well. I have to ask, man, what actually made you decide to venture into acting? And of course, what films have you actually partaken in so far?
So I don't live. I'm an actor, as in I've done. I lend my talents more towards the stage and to theater. I've done about 30 plays in my career, at least over. Yeah. So at some point, I do a lot of stage acting. I also, you'll be surprised. I do a lot of. I've ventured into modeling and doing all that kind of stuff. I've done it all. I've modeled for Nike, for Gatorade, a ton of department stores. Rochester Big and Tall. I'm a 6'6" man who does a whole lot of stuff. So I'm like, I call myself modern day Renaissance man, singer, actor, model, do it all.
And I gotta ask as well, man, because obviously I do know some individuals, when they go about booking, they just kind of reach out on social media. But if any, like, say, individuals need like a model for like a music video or anything like that, I have to ask, like, how would individuals actually go about booking you? Like, is there a specific contact method that you would actually like?
Absolutely. There's many ways to contact me. Of course, I have all my different social sites, and I actually am there. I do respond when people message me. Of course, you can find me on Facebook. My name is Micah Lee. That's spelled Micah. Last name Lee. I'm the handsome man with the well-groomed beard and pretty white teeth. That's me. You can find me where the magic happens is on Instagram. My Instagram is lit, so follow me. It's at Micah's Music. That's Micahs Music. And for booking, I would love to come and hang out with you, sing, do whatever we need to do. You can reach me at roundtheclock.cm@gmail.com. Again, that's round, ROUND, the THE, clock, CLOCK, .cm@gmail.com. And they'll take care of all your booking needs for me there.
And also as well, I do know that you actually revealed that you have a brand new record coming, just signed a new record deal. And I was wondering, I know you probably can't let too many cats out of the bag pertaining to this project, but the one thing I have to ask, man, what is the anticipated release date of your new project? And of course, could you actually shed a little bit more light on this project?
So, I do not know the release date, and that is because I will say this, great music. The records are most of them are done, but I'm definitely one of those deep artists that are like, hey, everything has to be perfect. And my mindset, like I said before, used to be like, hey, let me rush these records out. But I'm like, who am I competing with? Myself. So I'm like, take your time and just put out perfection. But it is coming, man. I got some new records and stuff that is amazing. We're just figuring out, which is going to actually be the next single. I know what song that, I really desire to put out, but, it's all about what the label says. So, we'll see. But it's coming. It's definitely coming.
But I gotta ask, man, other than this new record, what is next for you? Is there anything we happen to miss during this broadcast? Anything else you do still want to talk about or promote? Well, we still got you here live on the Canadian FM dial this evening.
Well, absolutely. It's always things to talk about, man. But, we've covered quite a bit in this little time, surprisingly. But, I have a lot of things coming out. So just please, just look out for the new project. Of course, I do have other great music that is already out. My single Don't Break is produced by Dark Child, and I'm super excited about that. As a kid, I was always the biggest Dark Child fan, and, as an adult, being able to really get to know, Rodney Jerkins and Freddie Jerkins, and it's like crazy, how that happened, and I was able to actually get in the booth with them and work with them, and we also working on some upcoming other great records together that we've done for this new project. So I'm excited. So until then, please download, stream, go find out, listen to Don't Break. That record will bless you. It's crazy.
But also, Micah, this is the time in the interview, man, that I give a chance for the individual that does slide into the radio station airwaves, just a chance to give, shout-outs to whomever they want to give shout-outs to, but most of all, your social media handles. That way our listeners can follow you and stay updated on everything you got going on if they're not already doing so.
Absolutely. Again, you can follow me on Facebook, and you can just search my name. It's Micah Lee. It's Michahle. You can also follow me on Twitter. It's at Micah Lee Music, all one word. That's Michahle Music. And, of course, on Instagram, it's at Micah's Music. It's Micahs Music. Just one word, at Micah's Music. Listen, my Instagram is lit, guys. You never know what I'm doing, where I'm going, whether what I'm eating, from eating to the gym to where I'm flying to. It's my Instagram is lit, so follow me there. Yeah, man.
And I gotta say, first and foremost, man, thank you so much for just giving us a bit of your time here this evening, talking about your newest projects, and of course, sharing your story with the Canadian airwaves this evening, man. It definitely was an honor and most definitely a privilege.
It absolutely was, and I want to thank you for even thinking of me. I really appreciate you, man, because you don't have to do that. And I'm thankful for you for just supporting so many artists out there across not just in Canada, but across the globe, man. And we really appreciate amazing people like you for taking the time to support us. A lot of times people don't get opportunities like this and opportunities to share and, what it is that they do. And so I'm super grateful and thankful for you. I appreciate you.
Hey, man, you are most certainly welcome, man. I gotta say, definitely have yourself a wonderful night out there in Florida, and definitely soak up some of that amazing sun and heat for us Canadians over there.
I will. Good luck, man. Good luck with that.
Hey, man, I'm Canadian. I'm pretty well used to it by now, man. But, again, thank you so much, Micah. Definitely have yourself a wonderful night, man, and hopefully down the line we can make this happen again sometime soon.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'll be sure to make sure you know when this new record comes out.
Sounds great. I know we're connected on social media as well, so whenever it drops, feel free to hit me up. We can definitely get you back on the airwaves.
Absolutely. Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you as well. Have yourself a wonderful night.